Hello and welcome to another video of bonus material on our Advanced Piano Tricks course, Volume 1. Today we're going to take a closer look at trick number 3, targeting 9 on minor chords. So we have our PDF here and we also have our course in paperback. I'm going to scan the QR code and we'll get started. Today's sound is created using one simple trick. Can you tell what it is? So what's amazing is that this trick works no matter what chord we choose to follow the previous chord with. One thing that you must understand is that the harmonic progression does not have to be tonal. Everything here is driven by our target note, the ninth of any minor seventh chord. It's all about the texture created by the minor 7 add 9 constant structure. Remember, no matter what we do, we're creating parallel motion in the harmony, and we're always playing the ninth on top. This constant parallel motion is why any chord progression works here. Having said that, there's a more advanced perspective that we can use. Let me give you an example first. Let's say we're on a C minor 7. So of course, our last target note must have been a D since it's the ninth of C minor 7. Right now, we can play any note from C Dorian or C Aeolian. The next chord will be determined by the note we'll choose as our target. And if we think of this target note from the perspective of our current chord, C minor, the next target could either be a chord tone, a tension, or an outside note. If our next target is a chord tone of C minor, let's say E flat, the next chord has to be a D flat minor 7 because E flat is the ninth of D flat. But since the E flat is a chord tone in C minor, we can see this as reinterpreting a chord tone in the current chord into the ninth of the next chord. The same could be said about a tension. If our next target note is, let's say, an F, tension 11 of C minor, the next chord has to be an E flat minor 7. And we're turning this tension 11 in C minor 7 into tension 9 for E flat minor 7. But for outside notes, the feel is more of our target note functioning as an anticipation, creating a great amount of tension, which is then released by the new chord. For example, if I use a B on top of C minor 7, the B creates a lot of tension, which then resolves when we change to A minor 7, making the B tension 9 of A minor 7. As you can hear, this is a much harder trick to pull off. Justifying this B on top of C minor is not a simple thing to do. The only way to be successful is if you can hear these notes perfectly in your head before you play them. Now, there's another perspective we should consider as well, and it's looking at how our target note is introduced. For this, we have two options. One is to play the target note over the current chord and then change the chord to make our target note the ninth. Or 2, save the target note for the exact moment that the chord changes. So for example, I can play the note E flat on the C minor and then repeat it over D flat minor 7 like this. Or I can play something on C minor that doesn't emphasize the E flat and then play the E flat at the exact moment that I change to the D flat minor 7 like this. And the same holds for tensions. I can play F over the C minor and then change to F over E flat minor 7. Or I can play the F right when I switch to the E flat minor 7. Basically, one option highlights the dual functions that our target note can have, and the other merely showcases the target note as the ninth of our next chord. Although these two options are very similar in sound, there is a subtle yet significant difference to be explored here. Now, for our outside notes, the first option, playing our target on the current chord, is the option that creates the most tension. Like we said before, the B on a C minor 7 is quite dissonant. and it only makes sense if we hear it as an anticipation of the next chord, A minor 7. The safest way to go with these outside notes is by using option 2, changing to the next chord right on our target note. Even further, the best technique for these notes is to arrive at them by step rather than leaping to them. For example, playing this works perfectly, but if I arrive at the B by leaping to it, the change is much harder to accept. So now that you have a new perspective on this trick, test it out. Find out what works best. Try all your options, expand on the trick, and always aim at being able to hear what you're about to play before you play it. Remember, you can now find this video next to the original trick if you own the book. And you can check out this trick's original tutorial right here. Today's sound is created using one simple trick. Can you tell what it is?